Hey guys, Mark Shields, Rapa Nui Life, coming at you from the easternmost corner of the Polynesian Triangle. It's the island famous for these guys, the giant monolithic statues known as moai. Now, I've lived here for over 13 years. My job today is to tell you the 10 best things about living on Easter Island. So if you're interested in all things Easter Island, subscribe to the channel now, like the video. I'm gonna get into it right now. We're gonna hit it 10 best things about living in Easter Island. Let's do it. So Easter Island has some of the best sunsets in the world. Because it's an island, you can experience sunset over the ocean and sunrise over the ocean in the same day. It's only a 5-minute drive from the east coast to the west coast. Because it's an island, it's also very humid, and so there's often quite a few clouds catching those beautiful sun rays. And if you want to experience it in an epic place on the eastern side of the island for sunrise, you got the beautiful 15 statues of Tongariki, and if you want to experience the sunset, you have the beautiful ancient village of Tahai. And so some epic archaeological spots from which you can enjoy these amazing sunrises and sunsets. The night skies are incredibly clear as well. Because we're so isolated in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, our closest neighbor is actually about 2,300 kilometers that way, and it's the tiny island of Pitcairn Island with just a population of about 50 people. The closest big place to us is Chile, and that's like 4,000 kilometers that way. If you want to enjoy clean, clear night skies, you take a 5-minute drive out of town, you look up, and it is breathtaking. You throw some statues in there, you've got some incredible night photography opportunities. And the Polynesians themselves actually use the stars to navigate and find their way around Polynesia, colonizing a larger area than any other people group in the world. It goes from Hawaii in the north, here in the southeast, and New Zealand in the southwest. So if you want an opportunity to see some of the clearest, most beautiful skies in the world, do it here. There's actually stargazing tours if you make it here. Rapa Nui Stargazing, if you want to check it out, check our website out. I'll leave it in the link below. You can see incredible stars, take some amazing photos, and do it all with the backdrop of Polynesian navigation. So all year round we've got pretty much a great temperature. It's from about 15 degrees at its lowest in the winter through to about 30 degrees in the summer. So it's never too hot that you need to cool your house, and never too cold that you need to warm it. We're subtropical, so we're not quite tropical, but we're just below the tropic line, which makes us better than tropical in my opinion, because it's not as hot as the tropics. And that means you can kind of do water sports all year round quite comfortably, so surfing and diving and spearfishing. It leads to a real outdoor kind of lifestyle. You know, all our life is spent outdoors on the island, so we're often going on big walks or going to the beach. But on the other side of that, there's no kind of indoor activities if we get these extended times of rain, which we sometimes do. So there's no malls, there's no cinemas, things that you'll find in the larger city. I'll take the temperature and the outdoor lifestyle. We've got some of the clearest oceans in the world in Easter Island. So we've got no river runoff, no coral reef, very low plankton. All that means there's not a huge amount of fish. It's extremely clear, the water, and so you can do some amazing diving on the island. In fact, they talk about up to 80 meters visibility. It led to Jacques Cousteau, when he came to the island, said it was the only place he actually got vertigo when he was diving. And I've felt that too, when you kind of swim off a ledge and you're looking down 80 meters and you can still see the bottom, it can feel like you're flying. So if you get the chance to do some diving when you come here, make sure you get into it. And it actually led me to get into spearfishing. So I love to get into the ocean, bringing home some food for the family, and also getting into this other world where it's just you and the ocean. We've got incredible fresh fish every day. You want to buy some fresh fish, you just head into the center of town, and the fishermen are out there selling their fish that they caught the night before. We've only got 8,000 people on the island, and the area that we can fish is absolutely massive. Now, no other countries are supposed to enter those waters, although we know they kind of do underhandedly. I only fell in love with fish when I came to Rapa Nui Easter Island. And my favorite fish to eat is probably tuna in ceviche, which isn't cooked fish, it's rather raw fish seared in lemon juice. The island is basically a giant outdoor museum, so although you've got the statues lined up everywhere and in some places fallen down and some places being carved still in the side of the mountain, the island itself is a huge outdoor museum, and there's loads of other archaeological gems that you will see just walking anywhere you go on the island. Ancient garden areas, chicken houses, fireplaces, And if you're digging around in your own garden, you're likely to pull up spearheads and chisels, and some people have even found little tiny statues and hidden caves and things around the island. So we're always discovering, there's always something exciting around the corner. For someone who didn't actually like archaeology, when I came to the island, I've fallen in love with it. Now the island is just pristine, it's clear waters, there's not a lot of rubbish anywhere, there's not a lot of people, not a lot of light pollution, and all that led me to want to do a photography book to try and capture this incredibly beautiful island. Initially it was more kind of a business idea. I wanted to make a book and kind of sell it, but I absolutely fell in love with photography while I did it. I spent 2 years going out in the early morning and the sunset, standing in front of these incredible places around the island, trying to capture the energy of the place. Speaking of which, that book is actually in the description below. If you want to help us out during the pandemic, we don't have any tourism. We have not had any real income for the last 2 years. You can help us out by purchasing that book, and I think you'll enjoy it. Got the whole history of the island along with incredible photos capturing the essence of the place. It all goes to an amazing cause, which is basically the survival of us during the pandemic. So feel free to check it out. Lack of red tape. So if you want to build a house, you can just build it. As long as you got the land, you don't have to worry about surveyors coming down and making sure you've got everything correct. And it really pushes the price down for building a house and makes things a lot easier if you want to open a business. You don't have to really keep books or anything. There's no taxes to pay. My tour company really came by accident in a way. I just started running tours because I couldn't work a 9 to 5. I didn't really speak the language when I came here. My only option was really to work in tourism. People seemed to like my tours, and then I had 2 tours on a day and I couldn't do both of them, so I subcontracted to a friend, and then another day I had 3 tours, and so I subcontracted to 2 friends, and then I opened up a web page. Ireland really formed an entrepreneurial spirit in me that I never had before I came to the island, and probably would never have had if I'd stayed in New Zealand, just because New Zealand culture pushes you towards a 9 to 5, particularly as I studied political science. I can really be thankful to the island, but the lack of hoops to jump through and my poor Spanish, it forced me to come up with new and innovative ideas. In the island you have this real sense of community. There is a lot of island politics which I kind of keep away from. It's kind of nice every time you go out when you see people that you know and you smile and wave and say hi. On the days that you don't want to do that, it can be a little bit of a drag, but in general it's nice to be part of the community. It was quite difficult to be accepted initially because the Rapa Nui people have been treated very badly by outsiders throughout their history, and so they are very skeptical of new people coming in. In my case, I married a local Rapa Nui woman, which showed that I was serious about hanging around. I found that they accepted me and respected me once they saw that I was respectful and respectable. It also means that you're much more connected than you would be in a big city. So if someone dies on the island, you know about it. It's a tragedy for everyone. And when you're connected to 8,000 people, you realize that people kind of die or are struck down with sickness, or accidents happen a lot more than you realize, especially on an island of outdoor living and fishing and rock climbing and all that sort of thing. But my immediate community is really my church community, and we have a lot of people around the same age as myself and with kids the same age, and so we're often getting together and going to the beach or going fishing or looking for wild pineapples. For me, that community is really one of the best things on the island. We were really blessed when we first came to the island. Because of the lack of red tape, we just built a house. It wasn't ridiculously expensive, and my wife already had some land, and her land is actually positioned overlooking the town, and so we've got this amazing view, amazing sunset. We started with just 3 of us, me, my wife, and my oldest son. We've since grown to 6 people and love them. They're my family. We're a real multicultural, mixed race family growing up in Rapa Nui, Easter Island. We've spent time in both New Zealand and France. And so in our house, there are kind of 4 languages spoken: French, English, Rapa Nui, and Spanish. Oh, and I forgot, this guy too is part of our family. I've got my wife, my children, I've got my oldest Haki'i, Heikura Nui, Ihaka, and Jonah. There you have it, guys, my 10 favorite things about Rapa Nui, Easter Island. It is a magical place. If you ever get here, please look us up. As mentioned, we do tours on the island, so check out our website. It'll be in the link below, and I look forward to hanging out with you in the next video. Take care, God bless, Yorana Kurua.